Hi, I'm Anarigenic, and I haven't posted in a while. You probably been wondering what I've been doing, what's been keeping me busy. Have I fixed that hole in my studio wall yet? The answer is no. But I'm here with a new episode of Ramble Bak. This episode is just going to talk about a few things that have happened kind of around the YouTube or entertainment industry that have really interested me and I think might interest you as well. Except for luxury pranks. I'm not going to talk about this in this episode. So if you're watching this, Joshua Olatunji, don't shitpost below, alright? Don't go down there and say, look at this new luxury pranks video. I don't fucking care. You can keep that away. You can click off the video right now. But come back for the next one, because maybe that one's a luxury pranks video. To make up for my absence this year, basically, I'm going to do this episode of Ramble Bak just to cover the first quarter of 2019, things that have been happening that are interesting to me. And when I say a couple of things, it really just boils down to three things that really I want to talk about. Ramble Bak's back, baby! Before I do mention anything, just kind of covering off where I have been, just if you were concerned, I've basically been spending the summer really wrapped up in following this new drama. It's about this man who's he's called to a higher cause. People are supposed to love him, you know. He's supposed to be a hero. But then this woman who he's working with accuses him of assaulting her in the most vile of ways. And then all of his friends, or at least the people that he thought were his friends, and his employer, turn his back on him and they cast him out, only for him to rise back to power and strike back at those who cast him down. I'm of course talking about the anime event of the season, and that's Animegate, this whole Vic Mignogna debacle. I'm not really sure where the majority of my audience falls with the anime community, whether or not you are fans or not, because I've never made a video about anime before, even though it's something that I really do enjoy, and even if I did, you guys don't even comment, so you know, what the fuck's up with that? How am I supposed to gauge when you guys aren't giving me any feedback down below? But anyway, if you don't know what's going on, to cut a long story short, Vic Mignogna is a voice actor for Funimation, and he's also involved with Rooster Teeth. I haven't researched too much how Rooster Teeth and Funimation are related, but he's had contracts and worked with both of them in the past. Most notably, his most recent role was voicing Broly in the Super Broly movie. But in late January, early February, there was a public announcement that his contract with Funimation had been terminated following an internal investigation, and that was pretty much it. People didn't know why he'd been fired. It looked like they were going to create a new story arc for Broly in Dragon Ball Super, and that they were going to be using Vic Mignogna as the main voice actor, so people couldn't understand why this had happened, and so, like the internet does, it started digging to find answers. And it didn't take very long for them to find those answers. His colleague Monica Royale, who voices Bulma, and has also worked with him on other projects as well, which we'll talk about later on, she came forward and admitted that she had accused him of something. The nature of the tweets that she's put forth has indicated that it's, you know, of the sexual harassment nature, and that basically ousting him for being some sort of sexual offender or somebody who would do that sort of thing. The reason that I'm being so vague on all of this is because no official announcement of what has actually taken place has been given to the public at the point of me recording this. So to cut a longer story even shorter, essentially what has happened is Monica Royale has gone to Twitter, admitted that she made the accusation because something happened to her. Immediately following that, her co-workers Sam Schmel, Mike McFarlane, they jumped up in support of her and basically started shouting down anybody who approached her, saying, well, what actually happened? What's the situation? Can you be clearer? Because as far as we can see from the general public, you've just fired some guy following an internal investigation. There's a whole facet of deeper levels to this that I'm not going to get into in this video, of this being a beneficial move for Monica for her career, and all sorts of other stuff. I'm not going to get into that in this video, but videos are out there if you want to go and look into that in more detail. The thing that's really made me look into this story is just the way that the actors are acting in this whole situation. Essentially, they've got some insider information. They know the full level of detail, and they know that they can't tell anyone about it. So why is Monica creating a witch hunt on Twitter for people to go after Vic for her when she's already got legal proceedings happening, and why are her colleagues jumping to defend her when they know that they can't give any evidence about what they're defending her about? One of Monica's friends, Jamie Marchi, she rage tweeted on Twitter saying that she wants Vic's head and she wants his balls for what he did. Very powerful stuff. a lot of people are now rallying behind her, saying, believing the victim and saying we should just blindly believe her and support the decision that Funimation has made in firing Vic Mignogna. And look, I'm completely for that. If he's guilty, if something's happened, let it be sorted out, let a decision be made in court behind closed doors, so that formal punishment can take place, and then go and rage tweet about it so people can support you with the full evidence. But what's happening at the moment is that people are seeing the benefits that Monica is now open to with Vic being removed, apparently, and they're seeing a lack of evidence backing the claims, and 1 and 2 don't go together in this case, and they're asking for more evidence so that they can believe her and so they can support her. They want to support her in this, but every time they try, she turns around and says, "You're harassing me, leave me alone." And now there's a big Twitter war happening with basically these actors from Dragon Ball Z going out against their fans and calling them harassers and threatening legal action over them, even though one of their friends gets away with asking for the former employees' balls and head. Not that head, but you know what I mean. Essentially what I'm saying is just don't tweet about it if you can't support your remarks. And don't get angry with your fans and call them out when you know you're not supposed to be tweeting about it or that you can't give all the evidence. I mean, this thing shouldn't have gone public in the first place until justice had been properly served. You want to wait, and I know it's frustrating if you are in that situation, but the way that they've handled it is completely unprofessional, and the way that they're being supported by Funimation in making these bad decisions, whereas Vic Mignogna is just released before the investigation had reached a proper verdict. It's really left a bad taste in my mouth with the whole situation of how the industry works. And what really grinds my gears is the way that Sam Schmiel has, I'm not saying that right, am I? I'm not saying that right. But it's the way that he's been reacting to this whole situation. I could chuck some tweets up here, I'll probably do that in post, just about the way that he's been reacting to the fans. But it basically boils down to, we've got the saying in New Zealand, when you're not fully aware of a situation or where you're not clued in on something, the saying is, well, you don't even know her.
Probably can't even drive anyway.
As if you can. Egg.
Yes, I'm driving us home.
Whatever.
Yes, I'm allowed.
Doubt it.
True, man, because our old will be wasted.
Hey, Ed.
Eddie, hey, Ed, I'm driving us home, eh, bro? You don't know. Well, he doesn't know.
And basically that's what Sam's saying to his fans, and they're turning around and saying, well, that's the problem, you haven't told us, so of course we don't know, and that's why we're angry. So now, because you've got this void of information, the community are actually divided, and some of them are rallying behind Vic, even though he could be guilty. People are rallying behind him and supporting him because there's a lack of evidence supporting the claim that they've made, because they know they can't release any of that evidence, and the way that they're acting to their fans who've put them on this pedestal is just really shitty. So the split that you have is a bunch of people who want to believe Vic because it's the most logical conclusion that they can form with the lack of evidence, and then you've got a group of very loud social justice warriors rallying behind Monica because you're meant to believe the victim, even though there has been a constant flow of anecdotal videos and stuff that comes back that shows that Monica and Vic did have a very close working relationship, maybe even something more than a working relationship, a bit more of a personal relationship.
I cast you because you're amazing, and I thought you were going to be here the whole time, and I was just as surprised and disappointed as you.
But I will say, I've had so much fun working with you. It's been a blast, because
you.
we've never worked together in this capacity.
I know!
Which is super, super cool.
They choose to ignore that and just keep blindly following what that camp is telling them. I used Rising of the Shield Hero as a bit of a joke in the lead into this to offset your expectations of what I was going to be talking about. But I think that looking at his character and looking at the way that Vic has been treated and the way that he's sort of risen back in the public eye is quite interesting, especially because of the the rhetoric around Shield Hero being a show for misogynists and basically the worst thing that could happen to anime since since Dragon Ball Z itself, according to some feminists.
You don't know.
It's weird to see this narrative bleeding into real life and this concept for a show become what's happening to the actual people behind anime. It's getting to the point now where spokespeople from the anime community are getting together and creating this hashtag called bethere. This is to combat the hashtags that have arisen for the two camps that are forming around Vic and Monica for Kick Vic and I Stand With Vic. This bethere one is all about putting aside your differences and accepting each other for who you are. I'll play the video for you. I'll play the video.
Hi, I'm John Swayze.
And I'm Brittany Karbowski.
In recent weeks, our little nerd community has been shaken up. There have been revelations about stuff, rebuttals about stuff, and hopefully reflections about stuff.
But unfortunately, the dialogue has turned divisive and disrespectful, and most recently, dangerous. There have been threats, real threats, threats that are both unhelpful and unhealthy, but also irrational and illegal.
But wait, we don't do that.
That's not us.
We're nerds, not bullies.
We don't threaten each other.
There's no place for that here in Nerd Paradise.
We are a family.
We nurture each other.
We share with each other.
We celebrate each other's weirdness.
We lift each other up and we protect each other.
We are better than this.
So remember, be good.
Be nice.
Be aware.
And most importantly,
Be there for those in need.
Be there.
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 Be there. Oh no, that's a wasp.
So they're pushing for people to be supportive of other people's nerdiness or their weirdness or their uniqueness. But the really annoying thing here is that aside from the accusations from Monica and a few of her friends, the only evidence that really points towards Vic being the caliber of person that would do what he's being accused of is a few anecdotal stories and things like that from conventions where he hugs people and kisses them on the cheek. And that's part of his weirdness or his nerdiness or his uniqueness. That's what people used to go to conventions for. That's what he thinks his fans' expectations are, that if they don't want to do that, they can say they don't want to do that. So as I said at the beginning, there's a lot more to this story. I'm really just scratching the surface here, and it's more of this is my takeaway on things. Whether or not Vic is guilty, I don't really care. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't affect me. And I shouldn't have even heard about this. I watch anime for anime. I don't watch anime to find out who does that voice and what else they do and what's that. I don't really care. I watch dubs because it's easily accessible. I can watch it while I'm doing animation or doing something else. So it's the only reason why I support dubs over subs. Probably gonna cause a few hate comments in the comments, but that's the reason why I'm behind it. So to hear all of this shitty stuff coming out because of something that should be sorted behind closed doors in my opinion, and then me realize 3 episodes into the Broly arc that his voice changed and go, oh, that's weird, and continue watching. That's really what should have happened. This whole noise from social justice warriors that feel like because this has happened, they all need to start throwing their weight around online. I don't care for it. I don't want it in my anime, and then I don't want to find out that the voice of Goku is acting like a little bitch to fans who have put him on this platform by calling them harassers and calling them assholes and all sorts of other horrible stuff just because they're asking for somebody to justify why an actor that they liked has been fired. I don't like that this social justice aspect is creeping into an art form or a medium that's always been very open and very free with what it presents to people. I know people don't always like that. If we use Shield Hero again, that was an anime that was said to be, if you watch it, you're a misogynist. That doesn't make any fucking sense. If you watch Breaking Bad, does that make you a meth cook? If you're watching this, does that make you me? No, it doesn't. These are expressive art forms that let us see another world that we wouldn't normally see and experience feelings and thoughts and other things that we wouldn't normally get in our day-to-day life. And I want people to leave it alone so we can just have our anime as it is. That probably makes me some sort of racist or something. People behind the English dubbing industry they're a gateway for anime to come to the Western world. They're doing no favors for the industry with all this infighting and all this scheming and stuff just to get career opportunities or to get rid of somebody, if that's what it is. It's fucking terrible. I mean, for example, take what they're doing in Funimation and compare it to like Team 4-Star, who have created themselves from the ground up. They're not only fueled by the fan base and do what they do for the fan base, they're part of the fan base. They love what they do. I mean, I've followed them religiously since they started like way back in 2008 or whatever. And by religion, if your definition of that is turning up to church for 10 minutes every 8 months or so. But regardless, they've done more for the Dragon Ball Z community with their parody of Dragon Ball Z. I, as an adult, never thought I'd want to go back and watch Dragon Ball Z ever again, but after finishing the Season 3 abridged finale last year, I could go back and watch Boo. I could watch the Boo saga again. And that's something I never cared for with the dub. I didn't care for the conventions that they go to and that sort of thing. And seeing Sam Schmel at a convention talking about the Team 4-Star, he's talking about his fans, and this is what he has to say about them.
Are you familiar with the Dragon Ball Z abridged by Team 4-Star? Oh, sorry.
Do you have another question? Let me be really frank. The reason I answer questions like that is because Toei does not support that, and Toei and Funimation doesn't, and it's not really very legal. And so, as a guy who voices the main character on the show, it's very hard for me to get behind that, especially when if a company is making a product and then they call you up and say, "Hey, please stop doing that," and then you keep doing it. I'm not lecturing you. I'm telling you my opinion. You're not in trouble. You're not. When people do that and they don't understand how I feel about it, it's not even just my opinion. It's more like, guys, when the company says, "Hey, stop doing that," you need to do that. You're not entitled because you're American or because it's free reuse or because it's fair use, because it's not legally fair use in my opinion. So I'm not a lawyer, but I studied the crap out of it to figure out if it was. Other than that, yeah, they're talented and funny. I take issue with taking someone's animation and purposing it for your own business model, especially when I have to represent the brand officially as the lead character on the show. So it puts me in a very difficult position as an actor. Although if I were done being Goku and if I were done being I could definitely probably enjoy it. I could. But it's also, I'm very attached to the character, so it's not like something I like to pass around and have fun with. I take it very seriously. So for me, it looks like, while it's funny and entertaining, it looks like someone is taking something I love and care about and mocking it and abusing it and also pissing off the company that makes it. So I'm like, okay, I'm a little frustrated.
The following is a fan-based parody. Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, and Dragon Ball Super are all owned by Funimation, Toei Animation, Shueisha, and Akira Toriyama. Please support the official release.
What they're doing doesn't take anything away from the original work. They credit the original work in every episode, and they actually drive interest for people who might have forgotten or never thought to have gone back to it. And that's a bit shitty in my opinion. This guy is not my Goku. And I really am torn now about how I feel about something that I cherished as a childhood memory, that these people that were heroes and brave are represented by people who are just so shitty. Regardless of what really happened, that's my take on it. Moving on, next story, video games. Nintendo Directs, there's been 2 of them this year. Still no Skyward Sword HD. I'm not going to let it go. I need that game more than ever now. Especially because I've committed to making some videos about the maps and I can't capture that. But what we have seen has been great, in my opinion. I think that the Nintendo Switch is going into a really strong year. VR has been announced now, albeit Labo, and that kind of came out of the blue. My coverage on the news, however, has been somewhat lacking, whereas in the past I'd make outrageous videos like, would we see Red Dead on the NX? Or is the next No More Heroes going to be a VR game? Totally ridiculous videos like that. I realize that I'm not up to par with covering off news as it's breaking. I'm just not, I don't have the speed to get this. I'm filming this on, it's 11:52 on the 12th of March. You probably won't see this before the weekend. If I'm lucky, I can get it out. So I'm not going to change my schedule around to really push out a video that I half-assed just to add to the echo chamber of what a Nintendo Direct just said. You guys can watch a Nintendo Direct to form your own opinions. You don't need my opinion. If you want to see me reacting to a Link's Awakening video, I'm pretty sure that's already covered.
Be Link's Awakening. Be Link's Awakening. Link's Awakening. Oh, fucking shit, I think it is. Fucking shit, I think it is Link's Awakening. Fuck yeah. Come on. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. yeah. Fuck yeah. God, yes. Rocket League. I'm gonna call my brother.
Someone's already done that on this platform. You don't need to see me do this. So, but if you really must know, I'm looking forward to Astral Chain. I think that looks really cool. Meh about Daemon X Machina. That looked promising, but I didn't like the demo. Is that out now? I think it's out now. No, end of this month.
Well, he doesn't, eh?
I'll cut this out in post if I'm wrong. I'll pick up Link's Awakening, even though you can get the same game for $8 with the 8-bit graphics on your 3DS. And Pokemon, of course, is going to be awesome. But something I'm getting tired of, and this is the third thing. I'm going to lean back. I'm going to lean back, even though I'm probably out of focus now. Kids and adults and other people who don't identify as those things that are watching this. What I'm getting really sick of on YouTube, and I'm going to sound like a bit of a bitch when doing this, but it's this first culture. When something does break, it's about getting out there and having, you know, the most in-depth video about every little, you know, let's take Pokemon for example. For me, that direct happened at 3 AM. So I didn't wake up at 3 AM, I woke up at 6:32 AM. And I watched it after that. And already my newsfeed was filled with, you know, 15 things you didn't notice about the Pokemon trailer, theories about what the game's going to be about, people chucking up that there's going to be a sports aspect minigame because of not even 10 seconds of footage of a guy entering an arena wearing what looks like a football shirt. I don't care. I don't want to have a game ruined from thoughts and theories or even hacks or leaks. There've already been 3 leaks that I've seen, and I haven't been actively looking. This has just happened on the first day. There was like armored Pokemon, there was something that looked like Mewtwo, and there was something else some other third thing. There's always a third thing. And to be quite frank, I don't want to buy into that hype anymore. It's not because I'm not excited for these games. I'm very excited. You can see in my eyes I'm very excited. I did this with Breath of the Wild. Luckily that game was big enough and expensive enough that no one could ever have guessed everything or spoiled or leaked everything. But for Breath of the Wild, I watched every Treehouse event, I watched every trailer, analysed trailers, and by the time I got to play it, I felt like there was just a little bit of the luster removed. I would have loved to have just gone into that fresh, with my expectations totally unset, so I could just be totally blown away. And that's how I think it should be. That's how I've been trying to live my life. I'll watch one trailer of something if I think it looks good, and then that'll be my mind made up as to whether or not I go further into it. But even then, sometimes that Spider-Man trailer, man.
I think Nick Fury just hijacked our summer vacation.
Why did they put Nick Fury in there? But not only Zelda, I did this with GTA 5, I did this with Fable 3, I did this with Force Unleashed. Even Civil War, I watched every video that Emergency Awesome released, and he got so much detail about all of the comic storylines that they could use, every little reference that they put in their trailers, that I was getting super hyped. You know, I was expecting to go and watching the Netflix Luke Cage appear alongside Captain America and join Civil War, and then what you got was like 12 guys fighting in an airport. Not really the expectations that I set for myself, and allowing myself to buy into the hype. And I don't want to sound like I'm complaining about these YouTubers that are going out and making these videos, because some of these people are just genuine fans that really love what they do, and they really want to be out there with all of this stuff. And there is a community that loves to buy into that as well. So I don't want to take away from that, but there are the people who just push the envelope. Ruffled Rowlet with Pokemon every day, just because of my search history. The YouTube algorithm in the lead up to that Pokemon Direct would be like, Ruffled Rowlet, leak coming soon, new starters leaked. It was very tiresome and tedious, and this is where I came to the realization that I don't want to be part of that community anymore that goes and buys into all of the hype and watches everything that could be a spoiler, so that there's no mystery left. I'd rather wait until you get the full product on the shelf, pick it up, go home and play it or watch it or absorb it in whatever way, and then make a well thought out analysis of the video afterwards, like a review or a retrospect look. That's kind of the content that I'd like to put out for you guys, and I think that if you try it out with something that you're looking forward to, you might find it more enjoyable than just blindly following everything, having everything spoiled and then going in and watching it. I did it with Red Dead 2. That game was fucking amazing. There was so much stuff that I didn't know I could do because I didn't bother to, read the Eurogamer articles or what have you. Yeah. So I guess that's kind of what I'm getting at. Next thing you're looking forward to that gets announced, just a little bit of a pinch of what it is, and then just go full tit with it when it releases, and see how you feel about that, as opposed to something that you've been looking forward to, that you've been following every, you have a Google News search set up so that every time something pops up you get notified about it. Try it the other way around and see how you feel about it, and you might find that ignorance is bliss, and that the less you know and then you just pick it up and do it, the more fun you have. I think that's where I'm going to leave it for this video, because I've been talking for a long time and I don't want to edit too much stuff. So thanks for watching. I'm Unoriginic. This is Ramble Bak. Thanks for welcoming him. No, I messed that one up. Don't even know what I was going to say. That's the video. I'm done. Goodbye.